Hello, Monarchs. Welcome to the first video for lesson 6.1. Today we'll be solving linear equations by graphing. So really we're just going to be graphing two different lines, and then we will try to find what we call the point of intersection, so the point where the lines cross, and that will be the answer to the solution. Okay, so it says solving systems. So a system is just a set of equations, okay? So we're solving systems. So linear systems are just multiple linear equations, and we're trying to find where they intersect. Okay, so we have three steps when we're trying to do this. All right, the first step is to graph both of our points. So first we graph. Okay, first we graph. Okay, then we estimate our point of intersection. So estimate the point of, and that word that goes in that blank is going to be intersection. Okay, so we're supposed to graph both equations, estimate the point of intersection, and then we check the solution in our equations. Okay, so once we find the solution, we plug our solution back into one of our equations and we check to make sure we got our answer correct. Okay, so example one, we are just graphing these and figuring out where they intersect. Okay, so for example one, we have y equals negative 2/3 x minus 5. So notice I'm highlighting some different things. You guys should see what I'm highlighting and why I'm highlighting them in different colors, right? We should be able to recognize what both of the things I just highlighted are by now. Okay, so on top, you can see that I highlighted in yellow my slope, my m, right? So I know that my slope is negative 2/3, okay? I know that my y-intercept is going to be my b, right? That's what comes after my mx. What comes after my mx here is a negative 5. So now I know my b, or my y-intercept, is going to be 0, comma, negative 5, right? So then for down here, you would see my slope is going to be 5/3. That's what my m is, and my m is always my slope. So my slope is 5/3, and my y-intercept, or my b, is right there. So my actual point is going to be 0, comma, 2. Okay. So now that we have all the information we need to graph these, we're going to graph both of these lines, and we'll figure out where they intersect. Okay. So the first line that we'll be graphing is that y equals negative 2/3 x minus 5. So that's this top line here. And that tells me to start at the point 0, negative 5, because that's what my y-intercept is, okay? So I'm going to graph these in two different colors, all right? I'm going to graph my first one. I'm going to graph my first one in blue. I'm going to graph my second one in red, okay? So my first line that I'm graphing in blue, is going to be this negative 2/3 x minus 5. Okay. So first I go to minus 5 on my y-axis because that's what my y-intercept is. Okay. And now it tells me my next point is going to be down 2 and to the right 3. My slope tells me to go down 2 spaces and to the right 3. And remember, I'm going down because it's a negative slope. Okay. So I go down 1, 2, and I go to the right 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's my next point. So now I take my straight edge and I draw my line. I don't have access to my protractor right now, so I'm going to use this nice tissue box, empty tissue box as my straight edge. Okay, sometimes you got to be a little creative with the straight edges. Okay, so I drew my straight line using a straight edge. Now I'm going to add my arrows because we are not done unless we add our arrows. So that's my first line graphed. Okay, my second line I'm going to graph is this bottom one here, and I'm going to graph it in red. Okay, so I'm going to graph this in red. It's 5/3 x plus 2. So I go to plus 2 on the y-axis. I start right there. That is plus 2. And then I go up 5 spaces and to the right 3 spaces because this is a positive slope. So the number on top tells me how many spaces to go up, and the number on bottom tells me how many to go right. So I'm going to go up 5 spaces. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I go to the right 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. And I make my next point there. And now I draw that line. I have 2 points, so I can draw my line. So I'm going to draw this line using my tissue box. Okay, so that is our second line. And now, to find the solution of this equation, the solution is right there where our lines cross. So I'm going to highlight that in orange. It's right here. Okay. That is where our two lines cross. And that looks like we are at the point, it looks like -3 on the y-axis, or -3 on the x-axis, I'm sorry, and -4, nope, -3, -3. So this line appears to intersect at -3, comma -3. Okay, and the last step we will do in the next video, so stay tuned for video 2 for lesson 6.1.